When you own a ranch with a lake, you learn two things fast. The water draws wildlife, and people who act like they own it. For me, that person was Karen, our neighborhood's self-appointed queen of the HOA. The lake sat right at the edge of my property line, clear and deep enough to reflect every cloud in the Texas sky. I'd built a small dock there, a boat shed, and a screened gazebo for evening barbecues. My land, my taxes, my peace. Then, one Saturday morning, I woke up to the sound of a crowd. Down by the lake were folding chairs, coolers, kids screaming, jet skis buzzing, and a huge banner flapping in the breeze. "Welcome to HOA Lake Day." I nearly choked on my coffee. There were dozens of people camped on my shoreline. Some woman I didn't even know waved cheerfully and shouted, "Nice of you to host." Host? I stomped down the trail, boots crunching gravel. What in the blue hell is going on here? Karen appeared from the gazebo like she was making a grand entrance. Big hat, clipboard, sunglasses, the whole dictator at a picnic look. "Good morning. We're just holding our annual HOA gathering. I figured since your lake is right next to our community, it would be perfect." I blinked. "My lake." She smiled like I'd made a joke. "Oh, don't be selfish, dear. Everyone should enjoy natural resources. It's called being a good neighbor. Good neighbors ask permission before inviting 50 people onto private land." I said. "Pack it up." Karen crossed her arms. "You can't evict us. The HOA board already voted to designate this as shared waterfront access." I laughed. "You voted to give away property that doesn't belong to you?" She shrugged. "Democracy." That was the moment I noticed the new sign she'd planted beside the dock. HOA members only. Unauthorized use prohibited. She'd literally nailed it to my fence post. I called the sheriff, but by the time a deputy rolled up, Karen had produced a binder of paperwork. Maps, bylaws, some hand-drawn diagram showing the lake, touching HOA territory. The deputy sighed. "This is a civil matter, sir. You'll need to handle it through county land records." Fine. If that's the game, I could play. The next week, I drove to the county assessor's office. I showed them my deed, dated 15 years back, and the original survey line. Every inch of that lake sat inside my property. The clerk whistled. "They don't even have riparian rights. She can't legally touch that water." I grinned. "Then I think it's time for a little home improvement." Over the next 3 days, I had a crew deliver 12-foot steel posts and industrial fencing, the kind they use for wildlife preserves. We ran it all the way around the lake perimeter, right up to the thin strip that bordered the HOA trail. To top it off, I installed remote locking gates and bright yellow signs that read, "Private property. Trespassers will be prosecuted." By Friday evening, Karen and her board came marching down the path, red-faced, waving papers. "This is outrageous," she shrieked. "You're blocking community access." "There is no community access," I said. "This fence is within my boundary line." County confirmed it. She held up a map. "Our survey says otherwise." "Funny thing," I said. "Your surveyor used Google Earth. Mine used lasers." The next morning, the HOA's newsletter went out to every mailbox in the subdivision. Due to unforeseen legal complications, lake privileges are temporarily suspended. Unforeseen, my foot. But Karen wasn't done. 2 days later, I caught her on camera cutting through the fence with bolt cutters. I called the sheriff again, and this time they didn't treat it as civil. She was cuffed right there on the lakeshore while shouting about public enjoyment and communal heritage. The deputies just rolled their eyes. One of them looked at me and said, "You ever get tired of winning?" "Not yet," I said. A month passed. The fence stood firm, the lake quiet again except for loons and the occasional splash of a bass. I'd almost forgotten about it when the city council reached out. Apparently, the HOA had tried to file for waterfront improvement grants using my property as their justification. The council laughed them out of the room. So I decided to make it official. I built a new sign by the dock, carved from cedar, gold leaf letters shining in the sun. "Private Lake, formerly known as HOA Playground." Every so often, I'll see Karen walking the trail beyond the fence, glaring at the reflection she can no longer reach. Sometimes I wave. Sometimes Rex trots down and barks once. Just enough to remind her that the boundary still holds. She gave away my lakefront, tried to claim what wasn't hers, and learned the oldest rancher's lesson in Texas. You can't claim what you don't own, and you can't trespass where fences remember your name.